In May of 2023, I visited this museum slash house, the Hosea Quincy House. It's a part of the Historic New England Society, one of the many houses that they maintain and give tours. And it's in Quincy, Massachusetts, built in 1770. I like visiting museums, and I usually try to take my camera with me to take some pictures, and with their permission, of course. And so this is a collection of some of the pictures I took. Starting from the outside, looking on the outside, that's what it looks like in color. And a lot of the structure has been refurbished and maintained. You could tell that there's some modern bits that have been added onto it. But by and large, a lot of the structure remains from hundreds of years ago. And that's the entranceway. There are a couple more doors on the sides and in the back and so on. That's what it looks like in black and white. I always like black and white pictures, especially of old houses and old museums. And this is what it looks like in black and white. And this is off to the side. So looking at this little section right here, and that's off to the side. And I kept this in black and white. There's a chair over here that looks like it's modern. It's obvious it's modern. And these look like they're kind of modern too. So I thought I'd keep this in black and white just to make it appear as if it's of the period. And this is from the garden that's over to the side. So the garden's over here to the right, and that is from the garden. And I think they said, if I remember correctly, that sometimes the inhabitants of the house would come to this garden and relax. I'm not sure what of that era still remains, but it's still a beautiful small garden. And Elias, his daughter, that's a daughter of Hosea Quincy, Eliza Susan Quincy, is said to have played a major role in curating this house and maintaining the contents therein. And that's in the early 1880s. And that's from the other side of the house looking. So that's the front porch coming into the front. So I was just going around the house taking pictures, and that's from the other side of the house. I can tell you, when I went to this place, it felt lived in. I could almost feel like I was back in that era. Now, Hosea Quincy was rumored to have helped George Washington locate the British, because he would observe them in the Boston Harbor. Going inside the house, there are a lot of figurines and pictures and paintings and so on. And a lot of the stuff were staged to resemble what it might have looked like back in the 1800s. Regardless, I still think it was a nice touch. Everything was there. Everything there was intentional, including this picture here that tells a big story. I think looks like the lady Maria has a recorder in her hand with her dog. I think that's a corgi. I'm not sure. Beautiful drawing, I think. Some other items in here. Ivory is common for this period. A lot of things were made of ivory, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your position. But beautiful work of art. You can see it was nicely carved here. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if this was hand carved. And a lot of these items were just staged. There's a clock. I shot this on a Sigma 30mm f1.4. But I shot it at 1.8. So this is why only this is in focus and these are not in focus. Some other items that were in the house. Now the house is way bigger. I think it had at least 3 floors, maybe 2, at least 2 floors I went on. And I just shot some random things around the house that I thought were interesting. And just some other things that were here. Someone's glasses, not sure whose it is, if it originally belonged to the inhabitants of the house. And then looks like a hunting dog after a bird has been shot, but it's a really cool piece of item in the house. Now, to give some size reference, this is about the size of a book. size of a typical reading book, this whole dog here. And this picture, I think if I remember correctly, this was taken from the servants' quarters, and I wanted to show the perspective of the servants, what they would see if they were on the inside. And they could see outside, but it felt like they were always looking up. I'm not sure what meaning I wanted to convey. I just looked up and I thought, what would they see if they were looking up? So I tried to capture that with the camera. And the last set of pictures are of the panes of glass that the curator said that they were etched on by the family. So if I zoom in, you can see the Hosea Quincy etched in the glass. I took this one in black and white, etched in the glass. I'm not sure what that says right here, but she said that it was difficult for they didn't have many good pictures of the signature, so I used manual focus to try to get that. And that's another picture of it. And here's another one. I quite like this picture. Looks like someone started to write something and then stopped. And here's another view of the same etching. I think it's the same. Yeah, it's the same etching, but in black and white. And there's a couple more views. That one is in color of the same etching. And the last one, this one was not so good. What I would have done, wish I'd done differently, was try to get all these shots so everything was in focus from the beginning of the writing to the last bit. Because here you can see that this bit was was sharp, and then this one is not in focus. Being in this house is truly, truly special, and I like all these houses from the Historic Society. I think I've seen quite a bit of them and photographed quite a bit of them. So I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do with these photos. So I'm trying to make some short videos of what they look like inside and out. But they're worth visiting if you're in the area. All right, take care.